Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's September 26th, 2016. This morning when I woke up, I looked at the bands. As we all know, Kaladesh pre-release was this past weekend. And as we all expected Peregrine Drake to go. But the five-mana menace is sticking with us a little longer. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Arctic Pauper Show. I'm your host, as always, Arctic Ghost. And this time I think I'd like to go back a little and revisit a deck that I already did, as it has changed a little bit. As you can see, this is Affinity, but this is actually Disciple Affinity, and you play more of a Perilous Research engine, and the sideboard's a lot different. So, let's just get right into it. There's not really much else to discuss. I can't believe Peregrine Drake wasn't banned. You know, it's funny. I was one of the people who said I don't think it should be banned, and I didn't think it wouldn't be banned. I'm a little bit happier now. For those of you who watch me, who watch me play it in PCT, for those of you who don't know what it is, Pauper Classic Tuesdays, and watch me, get those 9 top 8s in a row. Although I apologize, I'll be trying for it again. Most likely. Anyway, so, getting into this deck. So when I did my old Affinity videos way back, I think it was almost 3 months ago now, maybe even more. The deck played Quicksilver Behemoth, which was the 4/5 with Affinity. For 6 and a blue. Oh, hold on a sec. Sorry about that. And it played more of a aggro-ish build. This build is leaning more towards combo, but still has the aggro shell. With the new edition of Kaladesh, yes, Affinity is the biggest proprietor of new cards. And I think that this version only gets better. Because now, you won't necessarily need Carapace Forger to be good, because you'll have the new 5/6 guy, who has basically Affinity for artifacts. And now you can do away with the green if you'd like. But without further ado, let's just get into the list. So first off, as far as the creatures go, you have 19 of them. Most people play 16. I wanted the extra power, so I went with more. So first off, of course, you have the usual. You have Frogmite and Mirror Enforcer. There is one less Carapace Forger, though, because you are making a little bit of room for some other things. Now you have the combo pieces. So you have a Tog, of course. A Tog, without a doubt, one of the best creatures in the deck. You should never go less than 3, I think. I think 3 or 4 is the correct number. And then you have Disciple of the Vault. So Disciple of the Vault is actually very interesting in this deck, because now you can just kill with a Tog and... Hold on. Man, it's quite noisy out today. Where was I? Yes, Disciple of the Vault. So you can just kill with a Tog. You don't really have to do all that much damage, because with Disciple of the Vault out in the Tog, I've only ever had to deal maybe, 10 damage with Disciple, and doing that is not difficult. Especially if you get a second Disciple out, it's definitely not. And I've actually won a lot quicker because I have a Tog plus Disciple. So, way back in the day, Disciple was played in Affinity. It was the way to win. And before a Tog was around, it was Disciple plus Karkland Shaman. Once a Tog came back around in Masters Edition, Disciple plus a Tog became the way. But then when Metalcraft entered in, Disciple kind of fell to the wayside, is where Affinity just, picked up the extra beefiness of Carapace Forger and Auriok Sunchaser. But now we're back to Disciple of the Vault plan. Trying to go as fast as possible. You got to beat those Drake decks. You got to beat Boggles before they get out the life gain too much. You got to beat Burn as a race, etc., etc. So, with the rest of the list, you have, of course, 4 Thoughtcast and Galvanic Blast. These are your big spells, of course. Your Divination and your big burn spell. Then, for your color fixtures, you have 4 Chromatic Star and 4 Springleaf Drum, of course. But now, and Prophetic Prism. But now, instead of playing 3 Perilous Research and 3 Ichor Wellspring, I took one out and took some inspiration from a bunch of different people's lists, and I put in 1 Terrarian. Terrarian's very good because now I'm also splashing a white card in the sideboard, and it fills the same role as Ichor Wellspring does anyway. It doesn't draw you 2 cards, but I think the mana fixing really matters. It does come into play tapped, which is a bummer, but yeah, you can't be perfect all the time. Uh, so 16 lands, of course, the usual. I have 4 Tree of Tales, no Ancient Dens because I don't want to commit too much to having the color white when I need green for Carapace Forger. You have Perilous Research and you have Ichor Wellspring for the extra draw power because again, this is more of a combo-esque version. And then of course you round out the main deck with the 2 Flings. In the sideboard's a little more how do I say this? A little more, I don't know the word, but it knows the direction it wants to go in. You got Duresses for, control type strategies or combo strategies. You have Feed the Clan against any type of burn deck. You have Hydroblast and Pyroblast, of course, but you're not going the full 4. You only go 3 and 3 because I wanted to make some room for having Duresses and Feed the Clans, of course. You have Cart Clan Shaman against decks like not Boggles. Well, yes, Boggles, I guess. Goblins, Tokens, Soul Sisters, anything of that sort. And then you have Standard Bearer. Standard Bearer, I think, is actually a really good sideboard card right now because I think the decks where it comes in against decks like Stompy, decks like uh, crap, I'm blanking on the name. Oh, decks like Boggles, if Infect picks up, things like that. This is where you want to be because not a lot of people are really preparing for it. So I decided to go with Standard Bearer. I didn't decide to go with the full 4 because you don't really need to draw 2 so early. You really only need to draw 1, but that is. So that's the deck. Uh, gonna take it into a league and see what happens with it. And yeah, I'll see you back for our first match, and stay tuned, and thanks for watching.